Thank you for bringing that point to light. I very much appreciate that. I have to ask you quickly. I do. I have to ask you quickly. When it comes to public speaking skills, most people say you have a black belt. People comment on how you present, and I was just wondering, what do you tell people when they ask you, how can I present like you? How can I get better? It's funny how you told me that in the school plays, you were the guy behind the scenes.
Yeah, always.
And there's a nuanced part of you when you're up that makes me think that he doesn't want to be up there. But that makes you more fascinating to listen to, because it feels like you're not there to perform and be you. You're there to give this message. And in a weird way, you'd rather not be there, but it makes me want to watch you more.
I don't know if it's that deep, to be honest.
No?
Because when I'm there, I'm proud to be there. I mean, what an honor to get asked to share what you think. I mean, that's pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. It's a great honor. I think the thing that really, really helps is I've learned about the perspective to change my perspective. So for example, I show up to give. And I always remind people that the most important thing about being an effective presenter, an effective speaker, is you have to show up with a giving attitude. You have to show up to give. You know something, you've seen something, you've done something, you've tried something that someone else thinks others need to hear. That's why they invited you to speak, right? Because we don't anoint ourselves, right? We get invited, right? Or somebody gives us permission, even if we do offer, right? Somebody goes, oh, okay, right? So someone has deemed whatever we have of value to someone else. So we have to show up with the giver's heart. I'm here to tell you what I know. The problem is the number of people who show up to take, to get. And you can see it. It's very plain to see. People ask a question and they say, you'll have to buy my book. Or you could just tell me the answer because you know the answer because you wrote the damn book, right? But clearly they're trying to drive book sales. It's a taking mentality. It's a getting mentality. Every single slide of their PowerPoint has their Instagram, their email, their website, their Facebook. Well, clearly they want you to follow them. They want you to reach out. The last slide is their website and their email, right? They have a taking mentality. They come up and the first thing they do is tell you their credentials. Hi, my name is, Dr. Blah-de-blah. I have 6 PhDs. I've worked for 55 companies. I advise CEOs and generals. And let me tell you a little something. It's about them. It's very easy and very quick to discern who's the giver and who's the taker. The best speakers, 100% of them. You look at all the top TED folks, Sir Ken Robinson, Amy Cuddy, Brene Brown, right? Dan Pink, all of them. All of them are there to give. Yeah. None of them want anything from anybody, not even your approval. No, I don't know any great speaker that stands in the backstage that goes, I'm gonna get a standing ovation. You may get one if you earn it, if they decide that what you have given them is of value, but that's not the reason you show up. You show up to give. Get that, learn that. And it takes practice. I do it out loud. Before I go up on a stage, more often than not, I will say to myself out loud, you're here to give. Just a little reminder. Yeah. And it profoundly changes the words you choose, the sentences you structure, the way you answer questions, the way you present information. It profoundly changes those. It's like a salesman who's paid on commission. You can tell because it changes the way they sell versus a guy who's not on commission. You can tell. Same thing, right? So learn that and it profoundly makes you a better speaker. And then there's some other tricks as well.
Do you have all your talks word for word, or do you kind of go with how it feels? I know these ideas are deeply ingrained into you.
I think out loud.
Okay.
So very often people watch me think. When you do a talk enough time, it gets its own rhythm. But even then, I'll have new ideas while I'm up there, and they'll come out. I actually can't do the start with why talk anymore. It's not that I won't do it, it's that I can't do it. I've done it so many times that it just comes out so automatically that I can't be present. It's like I'm disconnected from my own body and I'm watching myself give a talk and I'm like, my mind is wandering. And it's such an uncomfortable feeling not being present that I literally, and I've tried different strategies. I've tried mixing it up and all it does is screw it up.
Okay.
And so I literally can't do it anymore. So I think these things have shelf life, at least for me.
That's fascinating.
Because mine aren't memorized per se.
More TED Talks in your future?
I mean, that's not up to me. That's up to them.
And do you watch yourself back in video? Do you always make notes on body posture and these kind of things?
I mean, the answer is yes and no. I mean, when I do a talk that's different from others, I'll go watch it, mainly to see what I said. There's a 99% talk I did a few years ago, 99U talk that I did.
Longer, right? 40 minutes?
Yeah, I did 2 of them, but it's the first one. I think they titled it 100% of customers are human, or people, or something like that. Business is human. I can't remember how they titled it. I'm wearing a black sweatshirt. I remember that. And I've never given that talk prior, and I've never given that talk since. And so I did go back and watch it, because there were some stories in there that I made up extemporaneously. Oh, I didn't make them up, but I shared them extemporaneously. So I do that. I take notes of myself. I take notes of myself as soon as I get off the stage. I'm pretty self-critical. And I'll go through my talk as soon as I'm off. So I don't necessarily go back and watch them, but I do go through it. And the great thing for me is when I travel with a member of my team, I'll always ask them to evaluate me, because they'll be honest with me.
Yeah.
Did I speak too fast? Did I skip over some things? So my team gives me instant feedback, which I ask for.
Just a few last questions. What's your biggest challenge for you right now, at this moment in your life? To watch the rest of this fascinating interview, click on the link below and go to londonrealacademy.com. There you can sign in with your social media, log in and watch the rest of the episode for free, along with all of our episodes on London Real, my webinars, and all of our premium content, all located over at londonrealacademy.com. So click on the link below. You'll be directed there, and you can watch the rest of this fascinating interview, and I'll see you there.